as we come out of our opening. Ooh. I'd like to welcome everyone to Talented Universe with our special guest today. And I'm going to have Liz introduce them. But first, Liz, how are you doing after your, how can we say, battle with the electric gods?
I'm doing fine because I gifted them all to you.
You did, actually.
Which I think is so funny. But I want to say one thing, Michael. What we need to do for the next intro is you need to redo your intros to Dancing with Michael.
Well,
I'm sitting here watching you behind.
People can't see that.
Oh, but it's so funny. You need to just have that on air as the music plays with you doing it.
No, that would not work. I think we'd lose viewers. So
I think we'd love a dancing Michael. It would.
I think it would
look
too.
spectacular.
No. And I hope that video never comes out. The one I did do, but that's a story. But Liz, go ahead. And you're doing okay.
Yeah.
You appease the electric gods, so that's good. So
yes, and I would love to introduce. This is an interview I have literally been waiting for. I would love to introduce to you Mr. Harrison Keene, and I am thrilled that he's here with us today. I have so many things.
Thank you so much for having me, Liz and Michael.
About.
I'm so excited.
We're excited to have you.
I do want to know what the electric gods are.
They're the ones that give
us
power.
Gives you power? Okay.
Yeah.
It gives us power, and if they get mad at you, they take it away.
Oh, yes. You did tell me this.
Yeah. So they weren't real happy with me yesterday, so I gifted them all to Michael and made him go out too. So.
She likes to do that. Yes.
Yes. But anyways, Harrison, please give us a little rundown exactly with the vertical dramas, what you do with them, and just in general, a little bit of a taste of what a vertical drama is.
Sure. So vertical dramas are essentially movies that are split up into a bunch of reels like you'd see on TikTok. And so each reel is about 2 minutes long, and there's about 60 odd episodes in a vertical series, which makes up roughly the similar length of a whole movie, but it's on your phone and it's on streaming platforms, which are specifically designed for vertically shot web series. So like Netflix, but for verticals.
Which means your phone, basically.
Yes, which means your phone.
Instead of this way.
Exactly.
Some people still don't get that. I've tried to explain it to people. I said, your phone is vertical, other is horizontal.
Yeah, it's really odd the first time you do it because you're used to having all this space beside you where you can move about, and then they cram you together. You're literally standing shoulder to shoulder with the other people there, and you've got this whole, your legs are suddenly in shot. I don't know why, because you're shooting vertical. Yeah. And it's really odd the first time you transition over to doing it. But they are a lot of fun. They're becoming very common. Not only in Australia, but throughout the world. And they're providing a lot of job opportunities to starting out actors.
Which I think is absolutely amazing. And speaking of starting out actors, when did you decide, one, you wanted to be an actor? Two, who was your influence to make you want to be an actor?
That's a good question. Because I haven't really thought about it. I first started doing acting back in year 8 or grade 8 in high school, and I continued that until year 12. I took a break and did a Bachelor of Information Technology, which, very similar to acting. And then after that, which was about the start of 2023, I resumed doing acting now professionally, doing jobs for money, and I've been doing that ever since. And what influenced me to do acting, or who influenced me? I'm not sure. I've always liked some of the relatively big actors like Leonardo DiCaprio. I really like Andrew Garfield's work. There's a lot of actors that, they're just incredible, and you see them in these big Hollywood movies and you want to be like them. You want to do things like them. You want to create these movies that you just love. And so I don't think it was necessarily one particular person that influenced me into becoming an actor, but that general concept of performing in front of people making people feel a particular way through this imaginary situation and world that you're in, and really just storytelling things that aren't real in your own life, because that's kind of magical in its own way, especially like fantasy sci-fi stuff, things that don't exist on Earth. I love those things. It's just your imagination running wild. And yeah, it's probably my favorite category of movies, which I also adore. Watched a million movies, probably too many.
Oh, probably not as many as we have, because we're the same kind of thing. If it's sci-fi or if it's fantasy, we're right there with you. Which is funny, because that ties into a question I did have a little later on, but we'll go ahead and do it now if you don't mind.
Sure.
I know that you've worked on a lot of voiceover acting for fantasy. What type of fantasy would you like to be in if it was you doing the character? Not just the voiceover, but you as the character.
Okay. I've done a little bit of voice acting, not too much. I would love to do more because it is very fun, and the limited amount that I have done was incredible to work on. If I was to be in a fantasy series or movie, I would really love to be this just extraordinary villain one day. This really bad villain that is not just, purely bad, but has this whole complexity and is actually, partially agreeable in a way. And you kind of feel sorry for them as well. They're like a villain that seems bad at first, but then you sympathize with them by the end. Mm-hmm. And then maybe a tragic death just to top it off.
Oh, that actually would work.
It would work,
It would work, yeah.
I would love if people cried at my fictional death.
So would you like to be on any mainstream type of sci-fi, like a Marvel or a Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, whatever?
I would love that. I mean, at this point, I'm not fussy, obviously, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Marvel. I love Star Wars. Those are probably the main two. Anything where it's just a world with things that you don't find in our world, like, I don't know, spells and wizardry, or monsters that look really cool and you get to interact with. Just these imagination, that doesn't make sense. These imaginatory things that bring a new life and are just so exciting to watch. That's what I'd love to be in.
That would really be kind of fun to watch you into, especially hearing you talk about it. You can actually see the joy in it that you have, that you would really love to do with this.
Thank you.
And one last question to tie in with that. I know I've got a lot of these. If you had the opportunity to work with any actor or actress, dead or alive, in any film or type of film, what would it be?
I'm going to go for someone alive, I think, because I haven't watched too many movies that contain actors who are now deceased. More of my movie watching has been present-ish movies. So actually, I'll do one of both. I'll say Robin Williams, if it was someone dead. He's just incredible. I would love to be in a movie with him. And Leonardo DiCaprio, because I love his whole range of movies, especially from when he was younger. And he was one of my big inspirations over a certain period of time. And to work with him would be an incredible experience.
Can you imagine both of them on the same set together?
That'd be dreamy.
You throw in Johnny Depp on top of it, I don't think there could ever be any filming getting done.
Maybe one day with AI. Who knows?
Nah, I'm not a big AI fan. I like to see the real person do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Since you filmed or starting to film a lot of these virtual dramas, what actually has been your favorite moment on set that you remember?
My favorite moment on set. It's going to sound so cliche, but there are so many nice people in the Australian film industry. It's it was kind of surprising to me when I first got into it, just how nice and down to earth and lovely everyone is to work with. All the cast, all the crew, they're just great to work with. And then you make friends. I've made a ton of friends over the past 6-ish months working on the vertical dramas that I have. And I'm inspired by what they do. I'm inspired to do more myself and push myself because of seeing their success and how much they're growing and they're achieving. That's really my highlight of working on these verticals, is meeting these awesome people, especially the cast, because I tend to interact more with the cast over the crew when I'm working on a vertical drama, and just making lots of good friends. And when you see people that you've seen in the past from work and you see them on your current job, you just get so excited because you're like, yes, I get to work with them. And it's so cool when it's such a small world.
How many vertical dramas have you done now?
There goes my question.
Yeah, I knew it.
I've done 4 so far, and more to come.
Nice. Okay, Michael, I will let you get in a couple more questions that you have before I continue with my whole.
Well, you've taken most of mine, but I'm going to expand on what you just said. So you've been in 4. How many are released so far, and what are their titles, if you remember?
Sure. So 3 of them have been released so far. 1 of them is in post-production. The 3 that have been released so far are called... that's post-production. Oh, this is jogging the memory.
Oh, I know, this is a big memory question.
I know, it's crazy. Something along the lines of, my daddy's best friend made me his $1 billion wife. I don't think you can guess what that's about.
Oh, not at all. Mm-hmm.
Contract before marriage election. And I did another one called The Heiress Blacklisted Her Husband, which currently has over 50 million views on Real Short, which is pretty impressive.
That is
great team worked on that one. Yeah.
It was a really good cast, and you guys all did a tremendous job with it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Liz is into them much more than I am, but still, yeah. I mean, I've seen some and I've been impressed with them. I mean, they are so addicting. It is terrible.
All right, Michael.
I had never heard of them before I acted on one. So they were really quite a surprise to me.
Well, I hadn't heard about them at all, and then I started to get them on my Instagram feed. I found out why I was getting them on my Instagram feed later, but I mean, they surprised me because I hadn't heard about them either. Yeah. And no one that I talked to after I'd seen the first one, nobody of my friends knew what they were either. They thought I was kidding. And I go, no, go online. You'll find them very easily. Oh, yeah, they're there. As I told you. Yeah.
There's so many of them now as well. They're really becoming very common. And I suppose with people more so on their phones than watching movies or going to the cinema, that it's probably going to grow into a massive industry.
It probably will.
I think it's pretty close. I mean, I had on a guest and they said they thought there was at least 8 to 10 apps right now that were all independent and showed different. A lot of them showed different ones.
Yeah.
So that's incredible right there. And they seem to come out, at least the ones I've seen, sometimes they come out with 2 or 3 a week.
They shoot them really fast. In Sydney alone, there must be, and this is on the conservative side, I think, but there must be at least 10 shot in a month by all these different production companies because they only shoot for about a 2-week block, and then they send them off to their editing team to edit and upload them. So they're really pumping them out super quick, which again is great for actors and crew, because it gives so much more work, especially in Sydney where the film industry isn't as big as it is in the States.
Right.
So now there's a lot more job opportunities for people in the film industry in Sydney.
And I'm sure that you do enjoy that.
Yes.
Yeah. And if I ask somebody else, are you going to try to go to some of the other more better, I'm not going to say better, but like US productions or other countries based in Sydney? Are you going to try to get on episode TV from there or some other?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sydney? Are you going to try to get on some television projects that are filmed in Sydney?
Yes, of course.
Or have you already?
Currently, I don't have an agent. I'm in the process of acquiring one at the moment, and that will come with more opportunities down the line.
Right.
Access to auditions that are of a higher standard, essentially, for TV, film, etc. And that's something I'm really looking forward to because it has been a long time coming, acquiring my materials together to actually present to agents.
That's what you have to have.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22. If you don't have the stuff to show, they don't want to even talk to you.
Oh no.
Exactly.
So I'm sure that's another thing I was talking about yesterday. That you have to find opportunities to get your name and face out there on the internet, just to get so you can get some of the bigger roles. And there are opportunities.
Exactly,
you just have to look. So.
Yeah, it's really with acting and probably most industries and professions around the world, you are the driving force that is going to propel your career forward. You have to take that into your own hands. You have to take full responsibility for your career and your work and whatever passion or skills that you're going after or developing. You have to take that into your hands and you have to push forward, find opportunities, make opportunities for yourself, and not just sit around and wait for the world to hand you something, because that's never really going to happen.
Okay, here's my last question before I give it back to Liz. First, I want to say, if you're in the chat room and you have a question for Harrison, put it in there. We will post it up here and hopefully he'll answer. But my last question to you, Harrison, for now, is since you talked about, what you need to do to keep your career going, when you do have free time, what do you enjoy doing? Or does that never happen?
Well, I tend to spend the majority of my time doing things that are related to my career, whether that be working on acting scripts, whether that be writing scripts, whether that be trying to adopt new skills or propel my social brand, which I'm trying to do at the moment via Instagram and YouTube. Most of the stuff I do is related to my career, and I love doing it because I'm literally obsessed with doing it. So it's not a problem to me. When I'm not doing that sort of stuff, I try to do things that are going to, one, keep me growing as a person. So that be exercise, learning new things, acquiring new knowledge. And outside of those things, I tend to enjoy watching movies. I tend to enjoy watching WWE, the wrestling. Meeting up with friends, trying new experiences is all in there. But my 95% of my time is spent related to propelling and growing myself forward and further within my career and personal growth.
Oh, that is so good. I mean, you are so focused. I wish I
try to be, but everyone slips. I just got to add that in. Like, I'm not perfect 100% of the time. Nobody is, but consistency is very important. And if you can be consistent with whatever you're trying to do, you will see results over time.
This is from Andrew, who is your most influential actress, and I'll say, or actor? I think you kind of said it. They might have missed it already, but I just want to throw the question up because I think you answered it. I think you said Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I I really liked a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio's early works when he was younger, similar-ish to my age. I like a lot of Andrew Garfield's work. I like a lot of Joey King's recent work. She was in I can't remember what the movie was called, but she was in a movie with Zac Efron and Nicole Kidman. And she was absolutely hilarious in that, with her just up energy, facial expressions, the whole kind of works. She's very, I watched that movie and I thought, wow, that was a really good performance. So she's also been influential to me.
Oh, well, he said he wanted to know female. And I said, well, there it was. He just answered that. So
Yeah, Joey King. She's a female.
yeah. Okay, Liz, go ahead. I know you
You actually had mentioned with Michael that you do things in your own activity, in your own private time, to further your career or further your knowledge of the career. Mm-hmm. When you did the TikTok Seen It All, the challenge for that, do you consider that more fun or more encouraging in helping your career along? Because when I saw some of the stuff that you had done, I'm like, good Lord, you're in my backyard. Literally, between Yellowstone and Lake Tahoe, Yosemite and Lake Tahoe, I'm like, we're right here in the middle. It was so funny with some of the pictures you put, because I literally see them quite frequently, like weekly. Mm. And so it was kind of unusual to see that. So do you call that encouraging to help propel your career, or was this more fun?
That specifically was a holiday I went on, so that was just purely fun. I went to the States, and as part of that, I went to the California national parks, and
you were right,
absolutely beautiful. They were just stunning. I love them. They might have been my favorite part of the trip, alongside the Texas portion, because I love that as well. Yeah. But Lake Tahoe, Yosemite, Sequoia National Park, they were all just stunning places. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to walk through? There's an area in the Sequoia Forest that, if you walk through, you can stand in one spot and have it look like it's completely off kilter to another.
Really?
It's the way that the earth is formed and causing some sort of a pull with it. And I forget exactly where it's at, but I know it's up along Highway 101.
Oh, okay.
I've been there several times when my kids were younger, but I don't remember it now. But I do remember the whole thing. And they carved out all the sequoias that had already fallen. They carved out into huge pieces of like the Seven Dwarfs, and it was a whole theme. And then they carved out a whole bunch more. And there were all like Disney stuff going through it. It was really neat.
Oh, that sounds so cute. That sounds like such a nice place to visit.
Yeah.
I didn't get to visit that, but it would have been something great. I did walk around in the Sequoia Forest up where I'm going to forget the name, the Grand Sherman, the biggest tree in the world.
Yeah.
Did I butcher the name? Something Sherman. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I did walk around that section for a bit, and I went off trail, hopped up onto a fallen tree, which was just out in the middle of the bush, trying to hope I see a bear somewhere.
You don't want to see a bear, honey. You don't want to see
maybe
a bear.
in the distance. Ignorant Australian here.
It'd probably be a black bear anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Not a brown bear. Gosh, no. But yeah, that was very beautiful.
Did you know, because of your interest in fantasy, that Star Wars, Star Wars number 4 was actually filmed there.
Was it?
In the Sequoias. When they do the speeder chase in through, that was all filmed there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's very cool.
Yeah, it was kind of fun when we were up there. That was one of the things that was really kind of impressed. And they have a lot of weddings and stuff up there too, in that same area.
Mm. So. Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah. There's a couple other questions I have, but one main one that I really do want to get to is Sons of Suns, which it touched on a part of me that is my fanaticalism. Let's put it this way. I am a huge, huge fan of anything that came out off the Sun label. I have some of the original records, including Elvis Presley's original record that came off the Sun. And I know that you guys shut down in September, I think, when you had just been introduced to the cast. Isn't January your new release date for more stuff to be coming out?
So, Sons of Sun, a theatre production I'm in, is a touring theatre show where we go out to different regional locations for the most part and put performances on every few months very sporadically. So we'll have 3 or 4 shows over a couple of weekends, and then 4 or 5 months later we'll have another set of shows, and then so on and so forth. It's been running for about 10 years now, and I only hopped on board at the beginning of 2024. I've done about 7-8 shows ish, and it's very fun. It's about Sam Phillips and the Sun Records label, which was the record label that started with Elvis, and Elvis left, but it then picked up Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, and some of those famous singers from that time and that period. And it's a very fun show to do. Great cast. We've got a band performing a lot of the songs as well, whilst the actors do their scenes. And I get to play Elvis, Jerry, Johnny, and Carl in it, and it's a blast of a time, really.
So can you sing as well as they can?
Yeah, that was what happened.
I can't sing very well. It's been a while since I've sung on stage. I don't sing. I just pretend. I mime to sing while the band sings. And my friend in the band, who's the singer, he sings and does a very good job at it. I think the audience would get up and leave if I started singing. So we'll leave it to him.
It's just too bad that it stays there, in Australia and doesn't come here to the States, because that's one I would not actually mind seeing.
That would be a good idea. I should propose that to our manager. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, especially here in the States, where the Sun label originally started,
exactly,
might actually be a good hit for things.
I would be very nervous if we went to the States, because I feel like the expectation to do a really good accent and voice for those 4 artists would be even higher when we're in the home country. But it would be a terrific experience, obviously.
Yeah. What were you saying, Michael?
I said maybe it would, but you can get a dialect coach. I mean,
Yeah.
Liz and I have both had people on from TV shows, and we actually hear them talk, and our mouths drop. It's like, saying, I didn't think you were British. You're not an American. You're not from Tennessee. Really? I mean, yeah. I mean, and we had them on and we talked to them and they go, no, I'd never done that dialect. I had a dialect coach and they helped me. I mean, we did a good job.
Yeah,
dialect
one particular actor.
So helpful.
One particular actor that's always thrown me off is he's from Manchester, but in a certain show he plays very heavily Scottish with the accent. But when you hear him talk just normal, like you and I are doing, all you hear is Manchester coming out of his mouth. I'm like, it throws you for a minute.
It does. It does, especially when you haven't heard it before. So you just expect them to sound like they do in whatever show or movie you saw them in. Mm-hmm. It really is interesting. I've actually got a current dialect coach for a standard American accent, and he's been super helpful in just helping me develop that and actually make it, pretty decently believable. Because it's such an important skill to have, especially for people who are outside of the States, with the States being the predominant leader in the film industry, and a lot of movies requiring an American accent. It's a crucial skill, I think.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Quick question on this. I know that in your bio you said that you've played cricket and soccer and things like that, but have you ever had a chance to play true American football? And if you had, what do you think of it?
I have not had the chance to play it, but I love watching it.
You do?
I absolutely became obsessed when I went to the States. I'd been watching it a bit before that, but when I went to the States in late 2023, I became obsessed. I started following the Ravens because, I don't know, they were on TV at the time and I liked their purple outfits. And I started watching the NFL. I started watching the college football. And especially this season, I've been keeping up to date with a lot of it for most of the season. And the Eagles beat the Chiefs, so the Chiefs did get their three-peat, unfortunately. But yeah, probably not unfortunately for a lot of people.
But yeah. No, but if you've been following all the rest of this season, you saw how well your Ravens did this season. They did pretty good.
They did do well, but an absolute shocker in the knockout rounds.
Yeah. Everything was a bit of a shocker there.
Couldn't hold the ball.
No.
Yeah.
Michael, I see that look on your face going, oh God, they're talking about sports.
I was going to say, you might as well have him come on your sports show.
No.
No, because it would be, at his time, it would be 10 p.m. on Sunday night. Ooh, no, sorry. Don't. Nope.
Liz, what team do you go for?
Oh, I'm a Niners.
Niners? Yeah.
Yeah. I was born in San Francisco.
10 p.m.
Grew up not too far from it.
Yeah.
Although I do have other teams I like.
Yeah. Like if the Niners get knocked out, you've got your preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is never will be the Raiders. No how, no way on this.
Never the Raiders, no. Enemy number one.
Yeah.
Liz, everyone's got that team.
It would be 10 p.m. Saturday evening for him for when you're on.
Yeah. Right now we are done with football, but if you like
it'll
baseball,
come back soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let me get Sarah's question here because we're probably not going to be on for much longer. Sarah asked, do you do any modeling?
Thank you for the question, Sarah. I have done little bursts of modeling in the past. What I've done is I've done a few kind of photo shoots, nothing like large paid work, but I've done a few photo shoots where we go out into town, get a couple outfits, just take some photos with the photographer. I did a little gig last year where it was a little runway competition for Face of Australia, which was quite fun because I'd never done runway before. And I'm conflicted as to whether I like it because in this particular runway, it was all neutral. Like you couldn't smile even. And I don't know if you can tell, but I really like smiling. So that wasn't particularly up my alley, but it was a lot of fun to do. But most of the time I focus on acting because one of the things that I've kind of learned in my self-development journey is prioritization of what you want to achieve. If you've split your energy and your attention between all these different areas, then they're all going to grow slowly. But if you split your attention between just a few little things, then they're going to grow a lot more, a lot quicker. And that's my kind of idea as to focusing on acting and maybe other couple of things that are adjacent to acting. So yeah, but thank you for the question. And modeling is fun to do. It just isn't my particular focus at the moment, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what's going on. Is there a closing question you want to ask, Liz, or have you?
No, I think that was it because I was going to kind of ask about the modeling, but I'm glad that one of the people that were listening actually asked it. So
there you go. Like it when they take your questions. It's fun.
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah.
Unlike you.
I know, but what do you do? What do you do? I try to take the questions. But,
I know.
Yeah, but everyone out there, so we're probably going to wrap it up. I'll give you 2 minutes, which will mean like 30 seconds for you to put in a last question to Harrison before we sign off. But if you didn't see the beginning of the episode, you can watch it after we're done. Let me go put the links back up here. ndbmedia.net is our webpage. Talented Universe webpage is right there. YouTube is * talented universe. Facebook is Talented Universe M. So like, subscribe, and follow all those things so you won't miss anything else. We do have another vertical actor coming on next week. We've also got an actor coming on Saturday. And I'm working on, I just told The Voice US that I'm ready to have some more of their people on. I had to cut it off for a week or two. One of our hosts was not doing very well, and Liz and I were getting worn out.
Doing double duty here.
Doing double duty. So that should be coming up next week, more of from The Voice. So I haven't seen a question pop up. I know it'll pop up as soon as I say we're closing down. But to all that were viewing, thank you for viewing. As I said, like, subscribe, and follow so you don't miss any of our productions. And hopefully Harrison will come back again when he's got a few more things out and he has some big news to tell us, like, he's coming to the U.S., to Sacramento so Liz can see him in that.
Yeah, I'll be in the front row.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
So everyone, take care. From all of us at NDB Media and Talented Universe, see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Bye-bye.
Take care.